On here. Here we go. I think we got it. A little trouble connecting on there. I think it's because the music. I had music on in the background. But we'll get it started here in just a second. If anybody's out there, if they can hear or see me, let me know. Greatly appreciate it. Alright, we're all connected. Alright, hope everybody's having a good Sunday so far. I know I am. It's a beautiful day out. Too nice to be in the kitchen, actually, but we do what we do. Here we go. Alright. So good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get started. So today, I'm going to be making my Graham's super easy chili recipe, and then I'm going to try out a recipe to make corn cakes, super moist. If you've ever had this stuff, then you know it is super dry, and you always got to fix it up a little bit. Well, today I'm going to try to add Jello pudding to it and see what happens. I think we'll be pretty surprised. I'm hoping so. Anyway, so today's stars of the show are, I'm going to be using a Wagner glass corn stick pan. Probably made these in the 50s, or I'm sorry, the 70s. It's one of my favorite things. Love this thing. And then I'm also going to be using, got myself kind of boxed in here a little bit, but then this discontinued Lodge. Lake Hickory guy, what's up, buddy? And I'll be using this discontinued Lodge corn stick pan. Now Lodge has made a lot of different corn stick pans and that kind of thing over the years. This one is the 5 cavity, obviously. Then they made the 7 cavities, and now they're currently making the 6. But since I can't get onto the Lodge website, I don't believe that they make the 7s anymore either. So yeah, this was a nice little find at a garage sale. $5. This is $5 in a box of books. So can't really complain much. But we're gonna get started on the cornbread or the chili first, and shut that door because the dog's after something. So I don't know what she's after, but there's something out there. But anyway, and my neighbor down across the street, every Sunday at 11 o'clock has to start building something or finds a leaf or a blade of grass that's not as high as the other ones, and so he goes out there every morning at 11 o'clock and deals with his stuff. Let's get started on this. And I was just out in the garden, I just picked these. We're not going to be using those. I just picked that as I was out watering everything. So let's get started on what we need. First off, I want to flash you guys the recipe. Usually I have cards, but this one is from a long time ago. I actually wrote it down. My aunt. I was on the phone with my aunt, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And so I wrote the cornbread recipe that I'm going to be using today on the back. All the stuff on the bottom is optional stuff, and the half stick of butter is also optional. So, but that's what we'll be using. So let me get my. Oh, and I'll be using also be using over here the Lodge 5-quart. Dutch oven, 5.2 actually, size Dutch oven. That's what we'll be using. And there's the beagle that's barking at something. Maybe it's safe to open the door back up, if at all possible. Yeah. Must have just came outside to blow. You can see if his blower worked. But yeah. All right. Well, I hope everybody's having a great Sunday, because it is going to be a good one. It looks like the weather is beautiful for everything. So if you're out going to see the baseball games today or anything, watch a little pro football, today is definitely the day to be doing that. Let's get started over here. So I just kicked on the oven. I've got the oven here preheating up to 400 degrees, and I'm going to cut this butter in half real quick, because I'm going to Throw some butter over there to melt. Put in the pot melter. The butter melter pot back in the back. So we have that. So I know that I'm going to want some butter on my cornbread. There we go. Not too much going on in the chat room today. This looks like it's just me and you, Lake Hickory. It's sure what I'll be talking to this morning. That's okay. That's great. We get a brush for our cornbread, for our butter. There we go. Back there. Hear the pans clanging around. But yeah, this is super easy. And I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she said, "Yeah, it's got to." I said, "It seems really, this is one of the easiest things." And I called her. I said, "I want this to turn out right, so I want to make sure that I get everything in it." And I said, "I've written this down." And I said, "Sometimes I said, I've done it exactly like hers, and then I've had it where it isn't exactly like hers. But the trick is to mash the beans." Now, some people can say, "Well, that's not chili," or whatever. That's a debate for a whole other time. But today, it's just going to be about, we are going to put beans in there, but we're going to smash them up. And she said that the reason that my grandma always did that was because the kids hated beans and nobody would eat them. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. We'll flip this over. And this recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of beef. I have 1 pound because I buy mine from the butcher in 1 pound containers. So I'm just going to throw 1 pound in there. So it's going to be a little light on the beef, but that's all right. And my grandma would make this, and she would make it at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then it would sit there on the stove all day long. And that's what everybody had. And you could fix whatever you wanted on the side. I usually had peanut butter sandwiches, not cornbread. Peanut butter folds, that's what I always had with it. But I'm out of peanut butter. I don't keep a lot of peanut butter in the house. Because if I keep peanut butter in the house, I eat a lot of peanut butter. That's what happens. So I don't keep much of it around. There we go. These over there. Go. Dice these up. Oven's heated up. Go. Not much going. Oh, here we go. Fun gaming. Hey, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Good to see you. Hope your Sunday's going well. I don't like these odd-shaped onions. They're hard to dice up. I like them more. They're a little bigger. They got a little more meat on them. Now usually my grandma would just do half of an onion, but her onions, if I remember right, the ones she've always bought were about the size of a freaking basketball. So I'm using a whole small onion. There we go. Like that. Zoe, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Today we're making chili and corn cake. And we're using Jello pudding mix to make the cornbread. And the glass Wagner cornbread pan. And an old Lodge. I wouldn't say too old. The 90s. The 90s was a while ago, though. Fuzz on there. Speaking of fuzz, is Fuzz in here yet? Glad you're doing well, Zoe. Glad to see you guys. If you guys, while you're here, if you could hit the like button, that would be fantastic. See if we can get up to 50 today. I'd like to see if we can get to 50 today on the likes. That's my goal. It's my one and only goal for the day. That and to get the lawn mowed. But other than that, I don't have too much to do other than watch baseball. Have a couple cold pops and like that. So okay. So I've got this up here. We're gonna brown this. We're gonna put gonna move you guys over here to right there. And I think, why don't we swap these two out? We'll swap these two. Swap that one. And we'll move this one up to here. There we go. I'm gonna put that in there. That way you guys can see a little better. How about that? There we go. Much easier. Much easier. Move this one to the back. There we go, just in case I need it. So we got this heating up. We're gonna grab our burger, throw that in there. And there's no garlic or hardly anything to make it like this, to make it this way. And which I was pretty surprised. It's salt, pepper, onion, and tomatoes. And then that's it. Like I said, the trick is to mash the beans. So we'll get our 1 pound from Curly's Meat Market. Thawed out yesterday. Yep. Yep. Here we go. 1 pound of ground beef in. Perfect. Let's take the gloves off. Let's see. Fun gaming. Yes. There's folks out there. Just nobody's chatting. Everybody's still waking up. I actually woke up really, for a Sunday, I woke up really early. I woke up right at 6 o'clock. And like exactly 6 o'clock, which is pretty, Fatty Meats, what's going on, buddy? Zyrete said hello. Hello. How are you? I hope I pronounced your name right. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. Let's see here. Get our burger separated. Oh, it's still a little on the frozen side. I took that out Friday. I thought that would be. There we go. Still a little chilly in the middle. That's kind of weird. Oh well. It'll thaw. There we go. Get my arm out of the way. That'll help. That'll help out some. There we go. Yeah, I took that out Friday out of the deep freezer. Boy, my deep freezer must be running cool. That still froze that solid. Salt and pepper. Down in there. There we go. What else we got? I had chicken in the fridge for 2 days and it didn't thaw. I soaked it in water last night so I could brine it. Yeah, I just think my freezer might be running a little cold. I actually got to take a turkey out tonight. I'm going to take the turkey out tonight because my buddy's got a really nice. One of my neighbors has a really nice Stallwell cast iron smoker, and we're going to throw that. I'm going to throw that in his smoker on. I'm hoping Friday, if I can get that all worked out. hopefully Friday I can get that turkey smoked. Because I'm trying to, that's the last thing in the freezer before everything, before all the, I get the meat for this winter put in there. I had one turkey that I bought, I don't know, probably in March. My butcher had turkey on sale. And it's been sitting out there since Thursday, or since March, so it's gotta go. Yeah, I'm really stoked about it. Yeah, that's, if you've ever seen a Stallwell, I believe that's how you say it, Stallwell smokers. They make them down in Texas, and they're absolutely, I mean, if you're, you know, if you can call a smoker beautiful, it is absolutely gorgeous. And he's got white oak, white post oak that he's using. Add a little extra pepper. Gram's like me, she always loved pepper. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. Have a nice smoked turkey for all next week. All kinds of stuff. Turkey casserole, turkey soup, turkey sandwiches. Just like the dad on, was that Christmas Story? There we go. Got it in there. Turn that up a smidge. Yep, super, super easy. When are you going to do your pumpkin bake marathon? I'd like to see you smoke the turkey, love smoking meat as much as cast iron. Yeah, for me to do the turkey, I'm really not doing much to it, to be honest. I'm taking it down there. I'm seasoning it up. I'll brine it for probably a day before, and then it'll just sit in there. You know what I mean? So there won't be a whole heck of a lot. It'll just be kind of one of those things where you'd hope I have like music going on in the background, because we'll just be watching a turkey smoke. And he said it's going to take about 3 to 4 hours to do it. But yeah, and then as far as the pumpkin marathon's depending on the pumpkins. Right now, the pumpkins, they're like my really big ones. It's kind of funny because the really big ones are like 3/4 of the way turned, and then the little ones are still really green. But like I said earlier, the heat wave killed off a lot. I've already had one wave of pumpkins where I got 3 and they were Connecticut field pumpkins. So they're pretty standard. They're just like about yay big, about the size of the pot, and they get, you know, that's about as big as they get. But these are enormous, and we've had a week's worth. It rained almost all this week. It started Monday and it didn't quit till Friday morning, which is why I got to go mow the grass today, because I was raking leaves yesterday and got the trimming done. So today I'm just going to have to go out and mow the grass. There we go. That browning up. That's taking forever. There we go. But yeah, that's so. The Marathon Pumpkin Show is really just based on when the pumpkins are actually going to be ready. I've already had. It's funny because 2 weeks ago I had a memory on my phone pop up from when me and Ming picked all the pumpkins last year. We picked all of them. Let's see, the weather for me showed no rain last night, but rained the whole night. Yeah, we've had absolutely beautiful weather. September in Ohio is like perfect weather. If I could find somewhere in the world that had Ohio weather for the entire year, and Ohio weather in September for the entire year, I'd move there. Because it's like, it starts out in the morning, it's like 55 degrees, and it'll get up to like 82. And last week's rain was the first rain that we've actually even had this whole month. So it was kind of nice, and it was just a nice, steady, light rain. It wasn't like huge drops, it wasn't windy, it wasn't storming, it wasn't any lightning, thunder, none of that. It was just raining. And it just rained Monday through Friday morning. Perfect. And so, speaking of the pumpkins as well, the pumpkins ballooned up. They're like I said, they're normally about this big, and some of these pumpkins are like I don't even think I can't even show you guys how, I mean, with my hands, they're absolutely ginormous. There we go. That burner's a little smaller in the front too, but I thought it'd be pointless to have you guys there in the back with the sitting in the back bigger burner. There we go. Get it nice and, plus I want it really, really smashed down. Because the cool thing about this recipe is you can use this chili. The chili is going to be super, super thick when it's actually done. When it's done. And you can use it for anything. You can use this chili for chili dog sauce. You can, and I'll actually keep little containers of that and make for chili dogs. And then, I mean, you can use it for like skylight chili spaghetti, that kind of thing. You can use it for that as well. There we go. Starting to turn up. Let's get some of these. Let's get these onions in there. Those onions in. Those cooking in there. And like I said, there's no garlic powder. There's no garlic. There's no anything. And like my mom said about my gram was an excellent cook. She could make a hamburger taste like fried steak. But like my mom said, if it was a difficult thing and took a lot of time to do it, it didn't happen in her kitchen. But she cooked all day long, but it was all, you know, French toast and, you know, simple, easy stuff. She had a lot, you know, my grandma had 5 kids too. And my grandfather was a lawyer, so he worked odd hours. And so she was always in the kitchen. And that's how I remember her. I remember standing at the sink with the with AM radio going, and that was her entire day, just like that. Usually she was having a couple. Pat Brewer, good morning. How are you? And that's what she did all day long. She walked from the sink to the stove, and then she had a chair she sat in. She'd go sit in the chair. And my grandma was one of those ladies who loved. She lived in a city, and she's had the police scanner on all day, so she'd sit by the police scanner, and she'd do that. And in the summer times at 7 o'clock, we'd listen to Cincinnati Reds games. There we go. I'll let that kind of chill out there for a second. I cooked my onions and hamburger together. Yeah, I just wanted to get that, I just wanted to get it browned up and then put it in there. I know what you mean though, put it start to finish. I really just didn't know, with the burger I get from my butcher, is, you know, when I asked a long time ago, I said, hey, what's your ratio like fat? He said, it's about 80-20. So it's never usually much under that, but it can be over that. I didn't know how much grease I would have, which this doesn't have much, so this is probably more like a 90-10. They have really good hamburger. So I wanted to see how much grease it had before I put the onions in there. Less things to cook around as well. There we go. There we go. All right, so then for the other thing is we're going to add in two cans of beans, red kidney beans. Now on her recipe she shows with one big can, but I didn't have one big can, I had 2 little cans. So probably actually be a little above the bean quota, but that's okay. There we go. Those out of there. Let's see, dark kidney beans. These are, yeah, dark red, 100%. Dark red kidney beans. Now usually if I make my recipe for chili, I use black beans in mine when I do them. I do black beans and I do mine instead of tomato juice or tomatoes, I put mine in V8 juice. So, and actually I believe my first video ever was my chili recipe, which is how we got started. Now we're here almost a year later to doing this. Because for those folks that are new to the channel, GH, what's up, buddy? How are you? Driving and listening. Very cool, very cool. But yeah, that's what a guy was working with. I brought in chili one week, and the following week we had a bet on one of the UFC fights, and I actually lost. I don't even remember which one. I don't even remember what the fighter was. What fighter I bet on? Because I'm usually pretty consistent when I bet fighters. But I lost, and he said, "Why don't you do on your YouTube channel? Why don't you do a live stream of how you make your chili, since you won't tell anybody how you make it?" And I ended up losing. So the following week, I did a video. I believe I might even have done it on Cast Iron Wednesday. I'm not sure anymore. But and that's where. And now almost a year later, here we are. Roy, what's up, buddy? How are you? Making chili, making my Graham's house street famous chili. And I'm just mashing up my beans a little bit. And that was the way she made it. She always smashed the beans so the kids would eat it. Because if she didn't, nobody would eat it. I guess I always liked eating my chili, but I guess my mom, and it's funny because my mom, when she made chili, she didn't make chili like this, like her mom made it. She made it her own way. And she added I don't know if she liked beans. Because everybody up there seemed to eat beans, I don't know. But that was the reasoning behind it. So we'll let those cook a little bit. And then we'll add in our tomatoes. And I've got 1 can of crushed tomatoes, the big can. There we go. Waste not, want not. And I think for the 1 year anniversary, 1 year from when we started doing lives, I'll probably end up doing, okay, kids grown, don't smash the beans. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, like I said, Evelyn, in my recipe, I use 3 cans. I'm pretty sure if I look at it, I use 3 cans of black, or 2 cans of black and 1 can of red. That's how I do my chili. And I do it in V8 juice. Green peppers and all kinds of good stuff. Let's see, let me get this out of the way. Get that over to here. Gently, I'm gonna mash some of these with the masher. I don't have a silicone masher, so I'm gonna do this. Because normally I always tell people don't use metal utensils in your enamel, so I'm going to do this I'm just going to get it started, because they'll mash up a lot better once I get to the point where these beans are cooked a little bit. They will mash a lot better than this. And I want to get the ones that I've mashed off the bottom so they don't stick, so I don't end up burning. And there we go. There we go. All right. Set that off to the side and put the lid on it. And we'll turn that down a little bit. And we'll put the lid on. And we're gonna let that hang out. Just I'm gonna check my recipe just to make sure I didn't forget anything. Other than I am gonna add a little bit more salt, white onion. Yeah, that seems to be, oh, chili powder. That was my thing. I need a tablespoon of chili powder. I knew there was something I was forgetting. I use stewed tomatoes diced. So far it's the same. Oh, really? That's cool. I hope you remember to put the chili powder in it, like I almost forgot to do. It wouldn't have been her chili. And a heaping tablespoon of chili powder. There we go. Now we're done. Yeah, and my chili recipe, Tabasco sauce, and mine's pretty spicy. Mine's actually really spicy. Let's see there. Got mixed in. Yeah, I knew I was forgetting something. I know this is easy, but it ain't that easy. There we go. See what's going on. Oh, coward. What's going on, buddy? How are you? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Sunday morning. Enjoying this weather. You're not too terribly far from me, so you're probably enjoying some of the same weather I'm getting today, which is going to be outside drinking a few cold pops, playing around in my yard, and just waking up late night. Yeah, I had a late night too. I was surprised I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I kind of laid there for like a half hour, and just decided I couldn't lay there anymore. And I was afraid that I would oversleep too. I was also afraid I would oversleep. So there we go. Big old hunk of chili powder. Ooh. Oh, that's tasty. There we go. All right. So now we can let this get that chili powder off the side. I keep saying I'm done, and then I just find more stuff to do. Okay. Let's be done. Let's put the lid on that. Let's put the lid on that and let it alone. Then we'll start working on our cornbread. Because that burger took a little bit longer to go than, yeah, we're doing chili today. Graham's chili. I agree. Just made it yesterday. Same ingredients. I used diced green peppers, jalapenos, a little sugar, and a hot sauce. There you go. Sounds pretty good. I don't add the sugar, but I don't put sugar in a whole lot. Even the cornbread that's going to be sweet, it has an option in the recipe to do add sugar to it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna let mine ride. That over into the sink. We'll bring our bowl over. Hopefully it's big enough. And I'm going to start by putting my eggs at the bottom. There we go. Shell out. Now it's all shells out. There you go. Don't smash your beans. Yeah. That looks good for chili. Yeah, we use it for everything. We used to, like I said, we used to make chili spaghetti with it. We would make chili dogs, chili cheeseburgers. We'd make chili cheeseburgers with it too. which I do love a chili cheeseburger with bacon. Oh man, that's on point. Oop, there's another little shell. Turn the recipe over here. And I'm going to throw the cornbread skillets into the oven to warm up. And for those just joining, we've got the Lodge 5 cavity one, the discontinued one, and we're going to be using this Wagner, the glass corn stick pan today too. So that should be pretty cool. I always like using that thing. Plus it's easy. That was a great idea by Wagner and other people that did them. I know Maze did. The Maze ones are cool. The glass, need a drink. I got that chili powder in my throat. Maze corn flour did ones, and they look just like, they look like corn. They had the leaves on it and all that stuff. Let's see. Turn this back over. So then we're going to put in our box of Jiffy. We'll mix that into that. Stuff the whole thing in there. There we go. And then we'll take our Jello, mix that in a little bit better. And mix our Jello into there. Bob the Builder, what's up? Padsy, how are you? Good morning. Did I miss the chili fixing? Yeah, we just got done with that. You're saying hello. Got to get back out to the yard. Winter is coming. Yeah, I've got to power wash my house this week as well. Make sure that I don't helps get rid of the spiders. So I don't have a bunch of spiders getting into my house this winter. So, yeah, thanks for popping in. Hit the like button if you would. That'd be great. Let's see. Is it made of porcelain glass? Waggly accurate proofs. I believe, actually, Lake Hickory guy, I believe they were made by Pyrex. From what I've researched on it and found. That those were actually they were made by Pyrex. Now, who made the other ones? I don't know. Let's see here. So we got our eggs. I'm gonna throw in. Oh, let me grab my milk because we're gonna do 1 1/4 cup of milk into this. There we go. Gelatin in the Jiffy mix. No, it's pudding. It's Jello pudding. Yeah, vanilla. Evelyn. Yeah. What does that do? It makes it really moist. It's supposed to. I've never tried this. This is a new one for me because I'm always trying to figure out a way to make this Jiffy stuff. I was looking for a way to do it, and then I saw this recipe. So we're gonna give that a day in court and see if it actually works. And I wanted to have cornbread. Yeah, and I wanted to have cornbread with my chili. So we get my 1 1/4 cup in there. For the milk. Yeah, that's what I thought, Pat. I thought it was interesting too to try and do it with the and it's instant Jello pudding. Now, how well this will do in a corn stick pan, I have no idea, but that's what we're about to find out. And I'm also going to drip a little bit of butter into here. Some of that butter into there once I get it a little more mixed up. Butter's hotter than I thought. Got it over there. I got the butter over there melting on the exhaust burner. And there were some recipes in there I saw too where you could take like a can of creamed corn and throw this in there with that. And like I said, it also, you know, the recipe called it, like I said, a quarter cup of sugar, which was optional. So I chose to opt out of that. And like cornbread, one thing I do like with the cornbread. Yeah, it seemed to, yeah, but it seemed, yeah, Pat, and it seemed to, let's see, unflavored gelatin, then the baked cheesecake makes pie huge, and it's really good. Recipe on the box. Nice. You know, I actually have Knox unflavored gelatin over there. I will pin that. I will pin that comment. And a little bit of black pepper in there. And let me see, butter, sugar. Not required to be so good. Yeah, yeah, probably would be. I would concur. Overmix this too much, and I'm going to. Where's that tablespoon that I just had? What did I do with that? I think I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of this melted butter in there without trying to pour it in. And turn that into egg. Just that butter oil in there. There we go. Back over where it was, where it belongs. Throw that in there. There we go. All right, that looks good. Don't want to overmix it. Don't want to overmix the cornbread. And it said for cornbread itself, it said 20 minutes, but I don't think with, thank you very much, Evelyn, appreciate it. Lizzie, what's going on? Good to see you. But yeah, we'll get the cornbread pans out here in just a second, and we'll butter those up. But it said 20 minutes or so for the for a cornbread, like as a cake size. So I don't think these are going to take near as long to do that. Let me get a trivet. Get a trivet out. Push that to the back, and we'll pour that into here. Out of there. I don't think it'll hurt anything, but just to be on the safe side. So let me just make sure you guys got a decent look at what I'm about to do. There we go. Me over to here. Onto the trivet. Is that trivet okay? Right there? Yeah. It'll be good enough. We're working in a really small space, so you'll have to forgive me on that one. So there we go. Let's grab one, get my oven mitts to get our first one ready. William Hurt, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Hope everybody's cracking that like button. That'd be fantastic to do. Okay. Set that right there. That thing always makes me a little bit nervous because I'm always wondering if it's going to, the temperature change is going to make it break. Butter in there. It's sizzling though. There we go. God, that sizzle. I love the sizzle. Close. Oh, that butter smells good. Like hot butter hitting the pan. That good smell. Top it up right there. into here. As much of it as I can get for right now. That's tasty. Ooh, that's got a good taste to it. I'll throw a little bit more butter in that one. In this one here. I think I kind of chinced on that one a little bit. Go. Got my face right next to this hot pot. Try not to sizzle my face here. Move my cup out of the way for a second. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to need that other one. Probably. Yeah, we will. I've got a little of that left. Speaking of, I keep chincing that one spot, that one cavity. There we go. Okay, cool. Don't forget to put my oven mitts back on. Check the comment section. Nice dish. Thank you very much. During the pandemic and empty shelves, I began making condensed milk cake. It's like cornbread, 2 to 3 or 4 great rise. Little stick butter over top of it. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds super, super good. I mean, that sounds really, really good. I'm gonna go back and pin a lot of these comments. Let's see, put that in there. The other one out. This little one. There we go. Without steam, you guys see that? You see the steam coming off of it? Let's see. Put the rest of this in there. We haven't used that glass one in a long, long time. That glass. I think we did that when we did the brownie meme to see if it actually looked like what everybody said they looked like. There we go. And add the butter to this one. That's good and hot. Let's see. This is really good and easy. That's what I like. I like good and easy. Easier the better. I like less ingredients. I like recipes 2 ways. I like a lot of ingredients and a lot of cook time, or I like them to be super easy. That's kind of how I got something that I can sit and mess with like all day long. I will definitely do that. It's kind of like with the pumpkin marathon that we're going to be doing, making the pumpkin bread and the pumpkin seeds and all the different pumpkin stuff. Ooh, there's a moth. Moth's been bad this year. Okay, so I think we're pretty good on that. Butter. And here we go. Pour a flip of this. I think I might end up with extra. If there is such a thing. I might have to break out another little number 3 or something and put that in there. Maybe not. Let's see what happens. Because normally if I make cornbread, honestly, I just use my wedge pan. And that takes up a box. But we do have that extra, 3-4 ounces of pudding in here. What's a box pudding? About 3.5 ounces or so. There we go. That tastes really good. That batter is really good. Do you do sweet potatoes? Yes, I do sweet potatoes. Sweet potato cheese pie. Ooh, that sounds good too. I'm gonna keep it real. Good morning. How are you? Chili and cornbread. That's what we're making. Glad to see you. Thanks for stopping back. For stopping by the old kitchen. Let's see there. Nope. Slide that back in there without getting burned the dog. Nobody wants to burn the dog on the live stream. Burning the dog's always a bad deal. Let's see here. Let's set the timer. We're going to set that timer at 15 minutes. I'm going to go 12 minutes and we're going to check that. Let's see. Nice mitts. Thank you. Kendra, good morning. Keep it real. My sentiments exactly. Yeah, we're making, I've got the old Wagner. I believe they're 70s. I think they made those in the 70s. And then the discontinued Lodge 5 cavity. Yeah, no burn in the beagle. No burn in the beagle. She's actually over here. She's being pretty good right now. She's just kind of sunning herself, hanging out. She did her puzzle. So she's a happy little dog for right now anyway. And then I've got this one. I think, let's try this pan out. Let me wipe it's kind of dusty. Let me wipe the dust off of it. And I think for the last of that, we're going to use this little Lodge. How fun's that? Can you guys read that? The dieter skillet. So we use that little, use this one. Let me throw that in the oven. And move the camera out of the way just for a second. Throw that into the oven, heat it up, and we'll throw that in there. I want to get some, I need to get some foil too, because I didn't want to put foil under those. I forgot to do that. Or a baking sheet. I'll just throw a baking sheet underneath. Save my foil. Save my foil for another day. There we go. And while we're waiting on that, we're waiting on everything. Yeah, they were kind of, we'll come over here and check the chili. Waiting on that to heat up. But you guys, need to get a different camera thing. Different camera stand, I should say. Let's check this and see how this is doing in there. There we go. Nice. That down just a little bit. You guys see that okay? There we go. There's a moth. Just showed up. There we go. Get rid of this masher, meat masher. Yeah, I can't. This is why I'm making it, because baseball. Baseball starts at 2. Some places 1, but for me it's going to start at 2. The game I'm watching today. I'm hoping if you're a Mets fan today, I'm hoping you guys kind of don't do so good. But the other thing is I'm such a baseball fanatic that I'm actually hoping that the Mets lose and the Reds lose in a way, because then they get a playoff game, and I hope the Reds beat the Mets at that. But if we can, because I just don't see us sweeping the Brewers today. I do not see that happen. Pure Olives, what's going on? Yeah, now it's coming together. And we'll get the masher back out, and now that these beans have cooked just a little bit more. Now that the beans have cooked just a little bit more, we're going to get that masher back out. We'll start mashing again. But I need something to drink. It's starting to heat up outside, and it's definitely heating up in here. Yeah, this is my grandma's recipe for chili. Badger's grandma. Boy, that's looking a little. You guys looking out of focus on your guys' end? It's not here. There we go. Sorry about that. There we go. So then we're going to get the masher back out and do a little more mashing. Gently mash, because I don't like using metal in my enamelware, and you're really not supposed to, but I don't have a silicone masher, and I want these beans mashed, or it's not the same. It's just not the same. There we go. Got about 7 minutes. We can check the cornbread. Scrape the bottom, so I don't want that stuff sticking to the bottom. Where I'm mashing it, I'm just gonna have burnt bean holes all over the bottom. I don't know about you guys. I'm not big into burnt bean holes. Let's see. Use a tumbler cup. That's not a bad idea. Focus now. Yeah, it was out there for a second. I don't know what that was all about. For a second, I thought maybe the lens fogged up. Cornbread. Yeah, cornbread. Got that in the it's in the oven right now. That we mixed with the and I think that little skillet should be about heated up too. We can pour the rest of this batter into that skillet and get that where we need it to be. There we go. Gently, gently, gently. And don't knock metal against your enamelware or you'll chip it. Let's get that little skillet out. It's been sitting in there. I would imagine as small as that thing is, it's not going to take long for that to heat up to where we want it. And then maybe we can get them out at the same time. There we go. Bring you guys back over this way. Back over to the trivet there. Let's give it the sizzle test. See if this thing sizzles. Kind of, a little bit. It's kind of foaming up. That should be hot enough. If not, if it sticks to this, if that's the worst thing that happens to me today, it's going to be a good day. And I got enough butter in there that'll fall out. There we go. Yeah. I should have grabbed my little Pickwa #1 over there and used that today. But this dieter skillet was right on top. Let's see. There we go. I think that's it. That's all we need. And we'll throw that in there. I think that'll be just the right amount. If that's the worst thing, yeah. That's what. Oh shoot! Sorry. I got to kick the camera. That's sort of the good luck thing around here. I got to kick the camera at least once, or it doesn't. Things don't go right. Let's see. There we go. And that's it. I'm actually going to put that on the pan down at the bottom and let it sit down there, because that was kind of falling in between the rack. I didn't want to. My racks are a little too big. We'll keep stirring this chili. Got to stir the chili. That's where the dance move was invented, right here. Stirring the chili. And here in a little bit, I get to go out and do the lawnmower when I'm not stirring the chili. What's for dessert? Dessert. That's it. The cornbread's kind of the dessert for that. I am thinking about making. I've got pineapples that have been sitting in the refrigerator, and if it wasn't buried right now, I've got a pineapple pan that I've been wanting that I got not too long ago, and I want to try and do a pineapple upside down cake, sort of a test. as sort of a test to see if it actually, how well they work. So I'm thinking later on this evening, like it may be 8, 7 or 8, I'm going to put a pineapple upside down cake together in that. And if it comes out, I will show you guys, if you follow the posts, then if it comes out okay, then I'll put the post up there. Yeah. And I've got like a little bit of some pineapple rings, and I've got some crushed pineapple. So I was thinking about, and it's, I don't know if I can, hold on, let me see if I can get to it. If I can get to it, I'll show you guys. For you guys that don't know what I'm talking about. Here on the rack, buried in there somewhere. You guys can, I think I've shown you guys this before, but this pot here, can you see that okay? I'll back it up just a little bit. I'll move the camera over. I can show you guys. There's the pineapple pan. So I'm going to try this out tonight and see if it actually works before I do one for the stream. But I've been dying to use this thing, and I've got these pineapples in there that need to get used, and I got everything else I need to make pineapple upside down cake. So I'm gonna try that out today, later on. That's on my short list. You have a mold for it? I have tons of mold. Yeah, I have tons of molds, tons. But I always wanted one of these, and this is one when I tell you guys to go to eBay on the auction section and go to ending soonest and look for deals. I got this for, these normally sell for $75 when they're new. I think they're about 75. And altogether, by the time you ship it and everything, it usually runs up to about $100. I got this for $26. I outbid a guy last second, like 5 seconds left. I put $26 on it, got it for $26 and $15 to ship it. So, great price on that as well. Yeah, you can't beat these things. And you guys got to see that I'm hanging out in my fake Crocs this morning. No, I didn't put socks on. I just slipped these on when I got to the shop. Yeah, that's why I tell everybody, go to eBay. I know eBay gets a bad rap from people for buying cast iron, but if you go to the ending soonest, and see what's on there, you can score some really, really good deals. You just have to watch the shipping. That's the part that everybody seems to miss on those. So we get 12 minutes on those. And we'll throw this back on there. I'm going to check, because I need the space, to be honest. Let's see. So I think they could use another couple minutes. I honestly do. So we're going to go another, let's hit the timer at 400 for 4 minutes, and we'll just keep stirring this chili. The chili needs stirring. Stirring needs to keep stirring that. Keep that dance going. There we go. Boy, that's looking good. I'm going to taste that. I'm going to get a little taster of this. Get a spoon. I do, yes. I add pineapple juice to the batter. Save it and pour it over the finished product. No, that's a good idea. I spend a little bit. Let me see, all of your kitchen tools are interesting, even the guitar-shaped spoon. I just spend so much time in the kitchen that, you know, I've always liked kitchen gadgets. I love kitchen gadgets. And we go to, here in Ohio, we have this store called Jungle Gyms. It's in Cincinnati. There's 2 of them, actually. And you can go down there, and it's an actual mega store for like kitchenware, food from all over the world. I can't even describe how huge it is. But they have, I mean, everything. You can get Le Creuset pots there, you can get Smithy, you can get Lodge cast iron. I mean, you can just get everything. So when I'm there, I usually pick up something while I'm there. for the kitchen, but I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, so why not have fun stuff to use and good quality stuff. So I always tell my kids, don't skimp on your kitchen stuff and your soap. That's one thing, and your cleaners. Don't ever skimp on your soap, cleaners, and your kitchen stuff, because that's the stuff that matters. There we go. There we go. All right. But yeah, I'm gonna taste it. I keep yapping my gums, and I need to get a little taste of this chili, and I need to get something else to drink. It's just panned out for me to do that. It's like when my kids were little. I remember I was shopping with somebody when my kids were really small. My girls were small, and I stopped into the hair salon there, and they were like, "What are you going to the hair salon for?" And I said, "Well, I need to get my kids shampoo." And they were like, "Well, they're like 9 and 4." And I'm like, "Yeah, but they have the best. They have the best hair in their class, you know." Man, that's good. It needs a little more. Man, that's really good. I think as I'm making this, I think now that Graham used light kidney beans instead of dark. But this takes me back to Graham's kitchen. Boy, that's good. It needs a little bit more salt. Yeah, and that's the thing, Lizzie. You're exactly right. If you have the correct utensils, appliances, etc., you can cook and bake. You know, and it's. I mean, whether you're doing okay in the world or whether you're struggling, you know, if you have the right utensils and the stuff to do it, you can make anything taste good if you have the right utensils. You can make anything taste good. And salt. I said salt, right? Thanks for reminding me. Thanks, Hector. Appreciate it. You just moved up a rung on my cool ladder. Okay. Oh, that smells good now. Oh, yeah. I'd say we're sitting good. Let's move this stuff out of the way. And we're going to break out that cornbread. Because the glass one is for sure done. And the glass one's for sure done. So let's move you guys out of the way just a minute over that way. Then we'll get the glass one out. You just stay right there, little beagle. There we go. Boy, that made them fluffy. We'll do the toothpick test before we turn the oven off and all that. And then I'll give the other ones just a couple more minutes. Yeah. Hector's moved into the cool kids department with me. There we go. You can get a toothpick. I need to get my toothpick holder back out. They seem okay. These thicker ones I don't know. Yeah, that one's done for sure. That one's for sure done. This glass one, you know, it's not as consistent as the cast iron one. I've learned that using it over the years. Yeah, I don't know. I might pop that one out and then throw the rest back in for a minute. See how if it wants to come out. And I've never tried this recipe either, so Yeah, I think I'm gonna let them hang out in there another minute. They just seem kind of spongy, if that makes any sense. I know it's a different recipe, so I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know what I'm looking for. Pineapple sounds. Rum cake. Rum cake sounds good. I haven't had rum cake in a long time. That might be something. Pat Z, I think you might have came up with an idea for the stream. Because I know I had enough butter in there. That sticking shouldn't have been a problem. I think I could use another minute. So like I said, we're testing this recipe out, and sometimes when you test things out, you gotta play with them a little bit. Let's see if any of the other ones come out. Instead of messing with that one, let's see how this one does. Might help too if I'd have been a little cleaner pouring these. Because the edges seem to want to come up really nice. But once I get into the middle, not so much. So maybe we'll let those... Maybe we'll just let it cool down. Maybe I'll just quit prodding and poking at it. We'll just let it... we'll let that go. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna, yeah, exactly. I'm thinking the same thing too. It's gonna make it almost like a Twinkie, is what I was thinking. So I'm gonna let this sit off to the side. I'm gonna move this one off to the side onto another. Let me grab another trivet out. We're gonna let that sit in front of. I got the fan on in the background, and we'll get this little trivet on there, and we'll throw that on here over to the side, out the way. And then we'll worry about the other ones. Yeah, and it's already sweet. That's why I didn't add the extra sugar that it wanted to do. Because I like my cornbread both ways. I like cornbread savory and sweet. I know some folks get a little they like it a certain way, but I've never really been like that about it, to be honest. There we go. There's this one. That one looks done. And it is really spongy, I can tell you that. Let's see, turn that off. Turn the oven off. So that one's looking pretty decent. Let's see how we're faring with the toothpick test. They're coming off clean. Yeah. There we go. I think I'm going to let that sit there a second and kind of wiggle these things out of here where I didn't pour it very good. And we'll let these kind of work those off to the side. But yeah, it's definitely a different consistency for sure. For sure. But we're going to let them cool. Did anybody's grandma or mom or you ever cool your pies the old-fashioned way, like in the windowsill? I had a friend of mine growing up, and his mom's kitchen had a shelf, like a shelf right outside the kitchen window to set pies on. There we go. I think we're going to let those cool just a second. That seems to be, let's see how that one looks like it's wanting to pop out. There we go. Check it out. There we go. That one popped right out of there. Mom and Grandma did that? Yeah. Yeah, my My mom used to just set them on the counter. Set them on the counter to cool. Can you guys? They're really hot, but can you see that? They came out pretty good, and you can see the corn in it on the sides. You can see that really well. But you can see the corn on there. There we go. Very cool. I'm gonna drop a little bit of this melted butter on there. I'm gonna give that a day in court. Oh, look at that. Boy, that smells. Oh my gosh. And it's got, you know how cornbread smells. No matter how you like your cornbread, you know how it smells. This smells like it's so sweet smelling. It's just got that cakey, that corn. That's why I called it corn cake in the title. I'm definitely gonna give that a try right now while it's still hot. Wow, that's good. Definitely good. And it's nice and fluffy on the inside. It's kind of a denser, it's like I said, it's almost like a Twinkie. It's like a Twinkie on the inside. That's really good. I sound like Dana White. That's funny. I'm a huge UFC fan. Maybe I'll get famous by doing my Dana White impersonation. That's right. Sorry, that's hot. I put scalding milk on the window sill to cool. It was steaming, and here the women downstairs in the alleyway say, "What's that?" And the other woman says, "Oh, it's just another drug." That's funny. Just another drug addict. I'm gonna get something to drink out of the fridge here. Lucky I didn't dump hot water on her. Get my drink here. But I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get my drink. We're gonna plate up some of this cornbread. We're gonna try this chili out. Now the chili could simmer, I mean, it could sit and simmer all day if it was up to me, but we're on a schedule, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna try it. We're gonna get a bowl of chili. We're gonna move that cornbread out of the way, and get my drink, and then we'll be on our way. Here we go. Appreciate everybody showing up today. And for the first couple minutes, for the first 5 minutes, I thought it was going to be a long show or didn't have anybody to talk to. But turns out a lot of people showed up, and I really appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark that everybody talks about so much that I have not hit yet. And just kind of, I'm not really too big on the subscribers, but you know, it's kind of nice when you hit certain plateaus with things. I'm gonna throw this. Oh, and we got the other one. We got the other one going in there too. I gotta get another trivet out. Move this cornbread. There we go. So we got that one. And we got that other little cornbread in there. I forgot about that one. It's still in there going. I gotta turn the oven back on. There we go. Get that little guy up there. All right, ooh, that's true. It's pretty warm. There we are. Well, let's get ourselves a bowl and a little. We're gonna move these things out of the way. Let's see here. That out the way. This out the way. Get my radishes out of the way. I had every intention of eating the radishes when I brought them back in, because I didn't have breakfast or anything. For getting up as early as I did. Oh, lemonade. There we go. And then we'll start getting some of this stuff out. Just plate it up. this toy. So there we got that. Get some of these. So there's cornbread on there. If I can get it out. Move this out of the way. And bring my trivet back over here. And sorry you guys get to stare at an empty plate, but how hard are my radishes? They're German reds. They're kind of like medium, I guess. They're basically what you pretty much get at the grocery store as far as radishes go. That's how hot they are, to be super honest. Yeah, they're not blazing hot, but they're not they got a little plus they are they're garden grown, so they have that going for them. Let's see if I can get some of these cornbreads out of here. I think two will do it. Yeah, they're definitely like, you gotta, it's not that it's just like cake. It's like if you had cake with you know what I mean? Instead, you know, cornbread's kind of drier. This is like a spongy thing. You guys could, this way. Let's see, missing Rick, Dubs, and Val. Yeah, well, they're church folk. They're church. I think they all do church. So that's where they are today, I would imagine. And our like I've said this before, our churches here, they start really early in the morning. And like, if I go somewhere and like if I run out at about 10 o'clock, the church folk they're out by the time I you know, if I'm out about 10 o'clock in the morning. There we go. Just a little bit more. Boy, that's thick. That is one thick chili. There we go. And I don't want to forget my other little cornbread. It's in there. Show you guys that one. Can you see that one? We'll give that the toothpick test too here. See how it's doing. I'm off. I'm going to throw these other ones in. The other ones, the ones in the glass, I'm going to throw these back in and let them stay warm. And turn the oven off. Turn everything off. So yeah, we got a little bit of that. Bit of cornbread. Let's see if how that one comes out. If it does. Let's see, Hector Cruz. Time to grub. Yeah. Actually, I need to turn my light on. Turn my overhead light on. Let's see if we can't get this one to come out as well. There we go. It didn't have the little fancy print, but I'll take that. It kind of does a little bit. I'm not going to pick it. I can't pick it up and show it to you. It did a little bit, but not that much. If you guys can see the little cornbread there. It picked up some of the words, but not very well. Some of the lettering. Make sure the camera's right. Get you guys back up a little closer, and I'm gonna try this stuff out. It's really super. Everything's really, really hot as well. Put some butter on this cornbread. Thanks, Ronald. Thank you so much. A fine meal ensues. I'm hoping that little bit of salt did the trick. And we got this hot cornbread. I'll flip that one over so it's prettier. It's awfully nice looking. Nice little corn cake. There we go. The epitome Turn the chili down to simmer for the rest of the day. Get myself a nice big old spoon. I used to love this chili when my grandma made it. I used to love it so much I'd eat it cold. There we go. Give that a second to chow down a little bit. Probably could have mashed. If I would have had a silicone masher, I'd have mashed those down more. But I do not. And we're gonna taste this cornbread. With the pudding in it, that's really good. I gotta tell you. For real. That having the pudding in there, the vanilla pudding in there, that's really, really good. Like I said, it does need play with the times a little bit, and the glass definitely it didn't cook as fast as the I don't know. I think I like it better in the cast iron than I did in the glass corn stick pan as far as how it came out. But I mean, there's nothing better for cornbread or cake than making it in cast iron, if you ask me. And that's just if you ask. I'm going to try this chili out. Hopefully that little bit of salt that Hector reminded me to put in there, which I really do appreciate, that did it. Man, that's good. That's really, really good. Like I said, when I was a kid, man, I usually had folded peanut butter sandwich with it. But I just don't. Number one, I make my own bread, and I don't have any bread here today other than the cornbread, and I don't have any peanut butter, because if I have peanut butter, I'm going to eat that stuff. Yeah. That is super, super good. And we did all this in an hour and a half, start to finish. So, can't beat that for, for a weekday dinner or weekend dinner or tailgate. That's super, super good. Anyway, we're gonna give you a little beagle cam, a little beags cam, then we're gonna let everybody jump on out of here. Beagle, you want a treat? Or are you just relaxing? I've got liver. I've got real liver. Can you give me a little spin for everybody on the way out? There you go. All right. There you go. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody for showing up. Lizzie, thank you so much for showing up. I'm going to keep it real. Thanks for showing up. Hector, thanks for showing up. Ronald Coward, Lake Hickory guy, Greg Hart, if you're still listening, thanks for stopping in. I know everybody hit the like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Didn't get to 50, but we got more than halfway there this time. Still trying to hit that 50 mark with the likes. And everybody else, Zoe, thanks for stopping in. Pat Z. Molly Cakes said hello. Hello, Molly Cakes. You just missed us making cake. Corn cake was what we had. Now we're getting ready. Beagle's telling everybody goodbye, giving a little spin. Granny Grant for stopping in, and so many others that came by today. William Hurt, thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. And everybody that hit the like button, everybody that subscribed today, and everybody that subscribed out there in the ether. Yeah, Hector, thanks a lot for stopping by, buddy. Thanks a lot, and thanks for reminding me about the salt. Hope you stop back again. We do these on Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and then Sundays 11 a.m. Eastern time. So, not sure what we're doing this week. Hopefully this Sunday we'll get to do the pumpkin marathon show. But that's all on the pumpkins. They're not getting paid by the hour. They're getting paid by the job. So, this is what it is. But appreciate everybody so much for showing up. I'm gonna eat and get started on my day, and I will see you guys in the comments section. All right, see you.